Hi friends, I'm Zillionaire and how are you? And I hope you're actually having a very good day out there today. But nevertheless, my name is Dr. Julius Aroba. I've come your way again. I'm the World and Mind Surgeon Coach. In today's masterclass, we're going to be discussing about a very important topic which I call uncoding the code of wealth. In other words, I say it is the genotype of wealth code. Oftentimes, we often hear in this day and age and time that people always say money doesn't grow on tree. But what if I told you that wealth is not actually as exclusive as people often think about it? What if the secret to financial wealth and abundance in life lies not in how much you earn or the job you have, but nevertheless, it is in how you think about it. It comes from the mind. In our culture today, in different varieties of life, we're taught to chase after wealth, which is actually a wrong myth. You're not meant to chase after wealth. They say chase after wealth, working so hard, working so longer hours, and also saving every penny you earn and things like that. Buying stocks, buying shares, buying a lot of things without the right fundamental, which is the knowledge around it. But despite everything that they've actually mentioned about, and in terms of financial successes, and people still say when they get this, they get that, they actually not able to get to that place of wealth. Why? Because wealth is not just often about the numbers and strategies, but it is about the mindset, which is the mind. Oftentimes, I always say in our masterclass, in the previous masterclass, that the wealth, the longest mind, or the deepest or the longest mountain is not that of Mountain Kilimanjaro or Mount Everest. No, it is the longest mind is that of your mindset. Is the highest mountain you can ever imagine in life. But friends, the truth is that whatever you do in life, your thoughts shape your reality, and that includes your financial life and reality in terms of anything you do, whether you realize it or not. Your belief about money, it is that it is rooted in the fear, in the scarcity mindset, in the abundance mindset, and also given that about your financial decisions in life, the actions also still count. And also, if you want to unlock the true financial wealth, there are a lot of things that you've got to do. You need to be able to start by rewiring and recoding, by reknitting the mind, getting books, getting the right coach, getting the right mentor, and being in the right society or the right environment, because your environment informs your decision. What you eat is what you become, and you can never give what you don't have. If you want to rewind or recode, or you want to bring the mind to the state of stability, you've got to be able to give it the right food, which is the foundation to anything you want to do in life. Little do you know, and how often that people always say that wealth is not only in the location, but it is in the people. And wealth actually have code. When I mean wealth has code, there is a book we're actually coming up about that we call the rewiring of wealth code. If you're going to be lucky to be in the conference, I'm going to be unveiling that book, and some of our society members are going to be unveiling those books. And in this book, there's a lot of things you've got to learn. And I'm not going to be unveiling it for now, but I'm just going to be telling you that today, about rewiring and recoding or decoding the synopsis around wealth, you've got to have the right knowledge, the right environment, the right things to put in place. And even the way you think, the way you feel about things, and also how you act around money, and the science of how you build building a wealth, long-lasting wealth, takes a sustainability way of you. zillionaires, there are quite a lot of things that you've got to realize. That if you want to be able to see how you can create a mental blocks to help you to be able to get to that place you want to be financially, you've got to get the right wealth code. And there are a lot of practicalities that we always do and practice within our society, within the zillionaire community. And there are a lot of ways that we can also, if you in our previous master classes, you'll be able to see that every week we bring those wealth code to you by creating something that you've never heard about, that you've never seen before. And this is why the wealth code that we're talking about is that it's a tool that can help you to guide you through to be able to get to the abundance of reality of whatever you want to do in life. So, the pathway to wealth, in most cases, is often begin with just a simple step and a profound questions. And this question is what I call money. How do you see money? How do you see wealth? How do you see riches? How do you see the knowledge around it? And what are the synopses? This question might actually seem trivial, but it might also be irrelevant to some of you. But after all, most people always focus on different ways to be able to make money. But how do you earn more? By investing wisely and finding a big financial opportunity. Is some of those things that you've got to start thinking about. Wealth is in its truest state. It's not just about the money in your bank account. It's not about the millions, the thousands, the billions you have in your bank account. No. It is about the mindset that guides you to be able to make the decision to be able to create that wealth and to be able to set out a foundation. If you want to build a house, you've got to put in what I call bricks by bricks, mortar by mortar. And by the time you lay a good foundation, you'll be able to create wealth. And this is where the genesis, this is where the mental capacity, this is where the wealth creation strategies is actually coming from, that you've got to see and to learn in how to be able to shape that mindset. And it comes with your belief, because your beliefs shape your actions. It is about the mindset that guides your decision. It is the belief that shape your decisions. And it's also, it patterns you to be able to know how to go about your routine from day to day. The reason why people often act where they are, how they are, is because they don't have the right mindset and they don't belong to the right thing and they don't actually follow the general principle of wealth creation. Before any significant financial that you can make in life, there's quite a lot of abundance in terms of materialization in your life. Speaking it positively, acting it towards it, putting the strategies with a good shift in your mind. Some people believe that you've got to act in a certain way to be able to have the right money. And this is not actually the right the right thing you've got to. Just like the book of one of the wisest men, Think and Grow Rich, he said, as a man thinks, so he is. What you think is what you become. How you act is how you carry yourself. Imagine for a moment that you were born into a family with the limited financial resources in Africa, for example, where you're born into a home that you got to struggle from primary to college, from college to varsity. When you're settling down, you struggle most often. Just imagine that kind of lifestyle. Even to eat is like a battle from day to day. You were taught that money is hard to come by in most cases. It's a wrong mindset. They tell you that there is never enough, that no matter the kind of money you make, there is never enough. It's a wrong mindset. And they also tell you that in order for you to be wealthy, you've got to make sacrifice or you've got to work yourself into the ground. It's a wrong mindset. They even tell you that the ideas become deeply ingrained in your mind. Then every decision you make about money, whether consciously or unconsciously, it will actually help you to give you the kind of life you desire. So friends, zillionaire out there, and to the community of entrepreneurs, you've got to think it. You've got to imagine it in a different dimension. You've got to grow up. Even when a family, you're born into a poor home, or a poverty home, you have an obligation as a purpose to be able to fulfill, which is you've got to be able to create wealth and riches of abundance from whatever you do in life. If you come from a poor home, make sure that a wealthy home is out of you. And you can have a wealthy home where you don't have the right principle, the right mindset, the right knowledge, the right classes, the right mentorship. You don't belong to the right environment and the right people that you speak to. I know you're imagining that what is prof or doctor or coach is talking about. Imagine a scenario or a case study where you were born into a family that you're super rich. For example, let's say Elon Musk family, or maybe Jeff Bezos family, or let's say maybe Aliko Dangote or the Rupert family. Or perhaps you were born into the British empires or the Emirates. Imagine if you're born into that kind of home, how would you be able to think? Everything you do in life is going to be channeling you to be able to double, to increase your wealth. There are norms that people always do. Where money is meant to be a tool for freedom and opportunity. Money is not meant to be your master. Money is meant to be a tool that you are meant to use to create wealth. I've done this as an individual. I've created a team, and I've created a family of wealth. You don't need to look like what you have. Today's day, through the grace of God, we have abundance. We have a lot in the world. But I want you to know that I was not privileged to be born into a wealthy home. It was just an average home. But through the grace of God today, I've been able to create a wealthy home for myself and for my family and for my children. Your mindset about money is the fundamental difference of why you've not actually improved from wherever you are in life. You don't actually view money as something to be feared. You don't need to be scared of money. No. Whatever money you call is going to come to you. You've got to be able to put those skills, those practicality steps into place by following it religiously, like the way you go. If you're a Muslim, you pray 5 times a day. If you're a Christian, you go to church, you pray, or perhaps you study the word. Or if you are a Sangomer or whatever religion, or Hindu, or whatever you are watching this from, you've got to take that as a conscious mindset by creating financial freedom for yourself if you want to become wealthy in life. What you see and where you see is what is going to take you to wherever you want to be. I'm going to repeat it again. What you see ahead is where you're going to be. Now, it's also often, I always tell people that if you go work alone, you can never get there easily. But when you work as a team, when you are tired, your team can actually strengthen you. And this is why we created the Zillionaires community, to be able to enhance you. And friends and family, and zillionaires, and entrepreneurs, or millionaires watching this, listening in this masterclass today, I believe I've been able to rewire some things into your mind, because your family cannot make you, and wealth cannot actually be sexually transferred. You're born into a wealthy home does not mean you're wealthy. You're born into a rich home does not mean you are rich. You were only privileged to be born into that environment, but that doesn't mean you're going to become wealthy, except you practice the principles and the steps, and also putting in the actions that are required. Those that are taking over the world today are those that take action. Today I'm going to ask you, the footballer you watch for every game. They make a couple of hundreds of thousands of pounds, of dollars, of yen, of rupees, of rands, or of naira. But you that you're watching that match, are you a stakeholder in that football club? That's the question I'm going to be throwing to you. Have you put up a system in place to be able to create wealth for yourself today? I believe you've actually been able to learn something. The difference between these two mindsets of foundation of wealth is that you've got to start looking for how to create a lifestyle of abundance. Let your mind change. Let things in you be able to become rooted. I believe you've learned something greater in this masterclass, and I can't wait to see you again in our next masterclass or in our next episode. Please do me a favor by making sure you share some of our YouTube masterclasses, and also the videos and the content and the materials and the books, and also subscribing to any of our ventures, our businesses that you've seen on our website, or you speak to any of our team members that have shared this with you. And I hope you've actually been able to learn something again about uncoding and decoding the general synopsis of wealth. My name is Dr. Julius Oluwasegun Aroba, again, the mind surgeon and wealth creator. And until I see you again in our next episode, do stay blessed and God bless you.